Love once flourished, now exists physical and psychological scars. Wambui Otiende brings you the story of pain and regret, featuring Shieshie, Matakaya and Maureen Atieno, both whom are survivors of gender-based violence. This as the 16 days of international activism against gender-based violence comes to an end on December 10th. Have a look.
As a police officer based at KBC Police Station, Shieshie Matakaya's life took a drastic turn on September 21st, 2013. While asleep that day, Matakaya alleges his wife poured sulfuric acid on his face, leaving him with multiple burns that have taken a huge toll on his life.
Initially, I never knew it was sulfuric acid. I thought maybe it was maybe cooking oil that has been boiled.
This action, says Matakaya, was triggered by a difference of opinion following the loss of their child.
She had been advised that we needed to have another kid so that she may heal from that loss. But to me, I was so reluctant.
Matakaya's colleagues rescued him and took him to the then Kakamega Provincial Hospital and later to Kenyatta National Hospital.
I was struggling, and the doctors saw what I was going through, and then they injected me and left me to sleep. So when I woke up later in the day, I realized that I could not see again.
After hospital, Matakaya followed up the case, which was already in court, but his perpetrator was released on bond, which gave her a window to flee, and her whereabouts have never been known to this day.
She did this and ran away. 2 days later, she surrendered. She surrendered to the police, and she was charged with attempted murder. The case is still pending before court until now.
Matakaya now impacts lives of victims of GBV through his foundation dubbed Shieshie Foundation. The foundation has, however, been struggling since the pandemic. Similarly, 34-year-old Maureen Atieno went through a similar situation. Maureen says she lost her parents at 12 years of age and was therefore responsible for her siblings. This situation forced her to travel to Nairobi to seek employment to support her siblings who are staying with various relatives. Life in employment was a little harsh for her, and that is when she opted for marriage at the age of 15.
Kosa tu kidogo hivi belt. Sasa unajua alikuwa ananichapa na silimi kulia naye imenishinda. Alisema we ni nani na kuchapa na uwezi lia.
However, staying on into the relationship almost cost her her life.
Nilikuwa nadhani amenichapa na kitu hapa. Iliniwasha nikafanya hivi. Bado damu haitoki. Tena akarudi upande mwingine, tena akafanya hivi. Sasa harakati ya kutembea ndio nilikuwa nasikia kama nyama inanipiga huku. Alikata hii ikaanguka. Alikata hivi, hii ni alama.
She was rushed to hospital. The husband was arrested and was taken to court.
Joseph, chukua mke wako uende ukamtibu na muende nyumbani na mfike salama.
With the release of her husband, Maureen has always been on the move in fear of what her husband will do to her if he knows of her whereabouts.
Nashtukia tu message, ananiandikia, Maureen, ni unajua nilikuona? Mimi naye simjibu. Sasa nilisema, sasa huyu mtu ananiona na mimi simuoni. Siku moja atakuja kuniangamiza hata usiku.
Nyambura Chege, a psychologist and resident counselor at Ngewa House Rehabilitation Center, says that most cases of gender-based violence in marriages are caused by the imbalance in power play by either of the spouses.
They are being monitored, their actions are being monitored, controlled. They feel like they have to be, the relationship has a silencing effect. They feel like they have to be quiet about some things that are happening, or they are told to be quiet.
Victims of GBV recover but can easily get triggered and sometimes end in returning to their abusive partners.
For someone to leave, it takes an average time of 7 times. Okay, so for one person it might be 2 times, and for another person 14 times, So the average is 7 times. And the reason for that is the cycle of abuse.
Valencia Gibera, an advocate of the High Court, advises on what a victim should do.
When you go to the police station, you are able to lodge a complaint with the officers, and they're able to take down your statement, and they're even able to call in the perpetrator or even arrest the perpetrator.
Any remedy for both Matakaya and Maureen?
She can still go to the police and file a complaint with the police, and she can also open a criminal case against her husband with that offense that was committed on a separate occasion. For the man is just to follow up with the police to ensure that this woman has been arrested and brought into court to face the law.
Chief Justice Matakaya is on record committing the judiciary to a fast-track dispensation of justice for victims of GBV.
The only way to do it is to deal with it firmly. So we are working very closely with all the actors because it needs a multi-agency approach.
Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Wambui Otiende.